this way the whole time.
Dude, you guys said that I wasn't supposed to masturbate while you guys are just like trying to get me just like this is probably the horniest I've been.
I literally think we just went live when you were talking about masturbating.
See, that's like a George Carlin law right there. It's like you only when the music goes down at the party are you saying something like, I know. That's why I'm gonna have my testicles laminated.
Oh, I fucking, you know what? We might have to go. We might not have to go. Shit.
What happened?
Oh, it's just.
Let's all get our Ultimate Warrior mask. God damn it. That's
so
awesome.
we'll know what you're up to. If you had arm tassels, we'd know what you're up to. Just seeing like the bobble of the tassels in the side camera.
Yeah, you can't sneak up on anybody with arm tassels. I don't think.
That sounds like a challenge.
Okay, we had real.
I will sneak up on you, mother.
We had real problems. Okay, all right. Let's bring it.
So awesome.
Let's bring it in. Okay.
All right, it's
Darren,
in,
let's go. Here we go.
Shouting.
I have to be the. Shh.
Very Dad Ideas is a live streaming show with two-ish dads, a voice actor and the animator who put the kids to bed, I suppose, and get permission from their wives to dick around on their expensive computers. They have been known to say things like,
L.A., the Bay, Mission District, and the Lake, Delray, Oaktown, Santa Monica, Glenview, and El Cerrito.
Hey, welcome to Very Dad Ideas. Darren just got wicked hot all of a sudden. What happened there?
Yeah, no, I did. I just decided to flare up my forehead for, the viewing audience. You're welcome.
Oh, well, so there you go.
I have no idea why that is.
Oh, I know why it is. It's because I have my bit rate is jumping on you. There you go. So welcome to Very Dad Ideas, the show where
Very Dad Ideas.
the show where we put the kids to bed and we make shit up. This is our 9th episode. We've done 8 before this.
Is it our 9th? I thought
This is our 9th. Actually, yeah, I miscounted. And like last week, we got all serious, and so I'm hoping to lighten it up a little bit this week. How do you feel about that?
Not too much. I wanna talk about tragedy as much as we can because that's what Very Dad is about. Is just talking about tragic events.
Yeah, and speaking of tragedies, we have a very special Very Dad Ideas tonight.
We have something very interesting happen. Just like technically, that actually just all the things worked, which I thought was magic.
Yeah,
because it may as well be for all I know. I don't do anything.
So
does all the hard lifting, and I don't.
So with an intro like that, let us give a Very Dad Ideas welcome to our very first special guest, the Ultimate Warrior himself, David Serotkin. Hello, David. Welcome to Very Dad Ideas.
Hello, welcome to Very Dad Ideas, where I have come back from the grave to gorilla press death and talk dad ideas with you. Do you like my arm tassels?
Dude, he has arm tassels, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, the internet.
Arm tassels too.
I love it. You just embraced it. We were like, I don't know. I mean, do you think Dave's the right guy for our show, Darren, or what?
I know. And how many times did it come up before we actually popped him on? I mean, he's...
So we can actually talk, Dave. We don't actually have to wrestle, but, we could.
We kind of have to wrestle.
So this week's episode is on SoCal, NorCal, and Seattle itself. Because Dave, we all lived in San Francisco.
It must be.
I'm totally taking this thing off now.
Well, yeah.
It kind of cuts into me face.
We all lived in San Francisco at the same point. We all were in the same group, and then we all went to our own distinct places. So
all on the left coast. We kept it west side.
Very left.
Yeah.
We did. Okay, so let's do this. Why don't we let's do a big recap of how we got to where we're at, and then maybe we can all jam in from a dad point of view what we think of our towns. You can tell how prepared we are tonight.
It's perfect. It's perfect. All three of us just sort of are like, I'll go first because I'm the middle.
Okay. Well, you're actually the left, but yes.
I'm the left
I'm
and
the middle. Hey, I'm in the middle. Hey.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, that's true. Dave is in the middle.
But it's the first time on this show for me, so it shouldn't be my first time to speak. Because
Yeah.
you're in the middle, and Nye's on the right.
Good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good point. Well,
Dave,
all right, so
Dave
we
brings in
originally
the.
envisioned this as North versus South, and it was just going to be California. It was going to be North versus South.
But then the tech actually worked to get Dave into the show, so we thought we would accelerate it. So
Yeah, so now it's
why
Seattle.
don't we talk about California first? Then let's talk about
Okay.
everyone go through a bad thing about California, and then everyone do a good thing about California. So Darren, why don't you start?
A bad thing about California was
Yeah.
I had to sell my car when I initially got there, which was horrifying because I had lived with a car my whole life, and then for the whole time I lived in San Francisco, the first time I lived there, like 11 years, I just did it without a car.
Yeah.
The good thing was also that I sold my car. You know, oddly enough, is that like I just sort of learned how to get around in all other manners besides that.
So the bad thing is that you couldn't sell your car, and the good thing is that you could
No,
sell
the
your
bad thing
car.
is I had to sell my car to get into an apartment. I needed all of the money.
Out of all of California, that was the worst thing. I think we can come around again to Darren after.
What? I can't.
Well, hey, I'll jump in on the car theme. One
Alright.
bad thing for me, because I lived in the Bay Area for 9 years.
Yeah.
I got rear-ended by a cop in El Cerrito.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
what do you do about that? How do you
Yeah,
how do you
the
deal
story,
with
man.
that?
So
Let's
I
have a little
stopped
bit of
at a
that.
light, and in the rear view mirror, I see these lights come in very quickly, and I'm thinking, oh, he's trying to get through. And then I hear brakes. Oh, he's trying to stop. He'll clearly stop in time. And then boom, well, he clearly didn't. Well, I'll pull over. So he pulls, I pull over. He comes over and he says, so I suppose you know why I pulled you over then. I said, you hit me with your car. And he said, well, you were speeding back here. You were going 35 and 25, and
So
then
he decided to let you know by slamming into
With
you, I
my
guess.
car. That's
He
a
had
that's
to-
a
he was a young cop. He had to then call his supervisor who came down. The guy was trying to talk to him. He was like, well, because of this, we're probably not going to give you a ticket. So slow down.
and you're like,
Dude.
oh, I need some new stuff back there in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, there was no damage on the car, so I figured whatever. Just El Cerrito.
Did he smell like the herb when he rolled up on you? I mean, what,
He smelled like my friend Herb. So
that doesn't.
All right.
You can't get him for that.
So since Dave is new to the show, why don't we do a DadVice with Dave, and we can. So Dave, this is the part of the show where Darren and I just give advice at being a dad to our 0 members who are watching
Well,
this show right now.
And you sort of have an option. You can either do a DadVice or a DadVice is sort of like that. It sort of has like a.
It's got a better intro.
Yeah.
It's got a better intro.
And then the
Ta-
other one is Tales from the Dad's Side, but it just sort of it fits into the bizarre things. I have a Tales from the Dad's Side.
Oh, say, why don't we do Tales for the Dad Side, and we'll do it to Darren then. You ready? Here we go. Tales from the Dad Side.
Dad's Side. Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
So all right, I have a 5-year-old. His name's Luke, and his thing is these days is Beyblades. And I don't know if anybody knows.
I just played Beyblades with my son like 20 minutes ago.
Did you? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I have to say that Jingo Higane may be the best Beyblader in all the realm. I think in all of the TV shows, they go back from like 2004. There's 14 years of Beyblades cartoons. He may be the truest spirit of a Beyblade master, but the product that they kick out has got nothing to do with the 5-year-old who plays with these things for like 3 hours in a row. So, because what I'm getting is like these things I figured it out after buying as many of these things as I have. Is I know why they're called Beyblades, because $20 top was already taken.
Oh, I like it.
Smoked. I'm getting smoked, dude. I'm getting rummaged for these $20 tops and these little ripper things, and yeah, they're not made to be played with the way a 5-year-old.
So at what age do these Beyblade things start? Like what is the age range? I mean, Dave, you got older kids, right?
So you guys are like blowing my mind here, because my son Henry got these for his birthday a week ago. I didn't know they existed until a week ago.
Okay.
I thought there were only two,
you
like Veritron and Shinzon or something. I thought that was, but this is a thing apparently.
It's a thing.
This is a thing.
Wow.
It's
right.
a thing. Dark Wolf. There's a Pegasus.
Well, that's something to look forward to, is this Beyblade thing. So I'm gonna do
So expensive.
I'm gonna do a DadVice because I really want to do our intro. So
Yeah,
let's do that.
DadVice is awesome. Here it is. Here it is.
Here we go.
I thought it was like advice.
It's
Yeah,
DadVice, but it's like, you know.
But we
Miami
also just insisted on putting the Miami Vice thing.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Sort of
Do we
doesn't
talk
line
about
up.
our vices that we have? Various vices?
Well, we're supposed to be like disseminating knowledge about being a dad or something
More
like
like
that.
advice.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So my DadVice is not really DadVice at all. It's that I've been reading the Lorax every single night, and the thing that I've discovered is I've been really thinking a lot about the Onceler. Do you guys know the Lorax story? Oh, you do.
Give us a little bit about the Lorax story.
Okay, so
Need is the thing that most everyone needs.
that's right. So this Onceler guy shows up and he starts cutting down all the trees, the truffula trees, to make needs because everyone needs needs, and but what happens is like he winds up cutting down all the trees, and the Lorax comes and says, "I speak for the trees," and the guy destroys everything.
Let them grow.
Yeah. So my it's not really DadVice. I just wanted to play the intro. But the thing
That's cool.
but the thing that I wanted to say was that the Onceler at the end gives the seed to the person who is like, and now that you're here, you can like plant a tree and you can do whatever. But the problem with that is that like, why didn't he do it? It's been like 30 years. Why didn't he go out and plant a new truffula tree? Right? And so what I
That's a good point.
That's a Last Jedi type question.
well, what I realized is that I read it the last time is that when you go to see him for the first time, you have to pay him in order for it. And so he's still like a capitalist businessman. Like he still has
Still
not.
making bucks.
He's still making bucks, so he doesn't have the like spirit to be able to plant a tree. I think it was something very deep about that.
Wow, I feel really depressed now.
Yeah. Well, Dave, we were going to bring it back around to some tragedy. Very clearly said it in the opening moments that this would be sad, and we've done it. And what? The show's over. It's 12 minutes in. We're good.
Yeah. So we completely went off the rails with our subject. So maybe it'd be better. So maybe it'd be better.
No, we didn't. That was
Maybe-
a great DadVice.
No,
Why
I thought
don't-
that was cool. That was really, really good.
Why don't we go into a live draw? And
Should
we'll
I
see.
should I give a piece of DadVice as well?
Oh, you want to get? Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah.
What do you
Feel
got?
it out.
So,
DadVice?
when my son was.
You gotta have.
All right.
When my son Henry was in preschool, very early on, I taught him if he fell down, to tell people very quickly that, don't worry, it's just a flesh wound. And so
Yeah.
his preschool teachers would tell me that he said it was just a flesh wound. So I guess he's okay. He definitely got them, you know. But he would say like, don't worry, it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He
So
just
is
the
your-
important phrases early on?
Is your advice to like give Monty Python phrases to your children? Is that the advice that you would like to impart?
Is that Monty Python? I was thinking more like Rambo, but is that what the Black Knight says?
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, I think it's after he has his first leg off. I think that he says it's just a flesh wound, or is it an arm? It's one of the
Well, why don't we go with flesh wounds tonight? And when we go into our live draw, we'll just start by doing flesh wounds. So, and another piece of news. Not only do we have the capability to bring guests into the show, we have some brand new music. Actually, it's the same music. It's just been polished up and fixed up by Jen Remington, who does
Jen
our.
Remington.
So
Yeah,
we're
she
gonna
does our music in the
we're gonna go into our first 2-minute break, and then we're gonna come back with a live draw where we're gonna deal with Dave here, and we're gonna deal with some flesh wounds. So
Jen Remington at heydog.com.
heydog.com.
Jeez.
So we'll be
Yeah.
back in 2 minutes. Thanks. All right. Let me pull this up. Okay, well, welcome back. That was a brand new track from Jen Remington.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. She dropped stuff on our deal. Like I don't know. I mean, you'd have to go to her website to figure out where else you can get it.
So we're here with our dear old friend and our very first guest, our very special guest.
Our very first guest, Dave Serotkin.
David Serotkin.
It's really great to meet you guys. It's just the greatest thing that I know.
We can't afford to fly anyone anywhere, and so
we're gonna go. We're going to go into a live draw here, and I thought we would just sort of start with the West Coast and flesh wounds, right? And then we could just kind of see how that goes from there, right?
And that's just off of one beer, you guys. That's just one beer in, and we've got a Primus band, a band that would open for Primus.
So this is like
West Coast with flesh wounds.
That's an impressive West Coast thus far, I must tell you.
Well, the Bay Area is here, right? And then
that was the Bay Area.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
Bay Area.
And then down there you got your Baja California way.
And then this is Oregon. I think that's what
looks like a puzzle piece.
That's what Oregon looks like.
Exactly what Oregon looks like.
Or like an AT-AT, squiggle AT-AT from Star Wars.
That's entirely possible.
What are the new ones called with the monkey fists?
The what?
Monkey-fisted AT-ATs?
Yeah, like that's probably.
I think that's what they're called.
That's the technical phraseology. But.
So yeah, Dave, I leave it to Darren. He'll find some way to derail it and make it about Star Wars. So,
well, but actually, that guy that also looks like that, or it also looks like Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I can see that.
That rapey dude that they make, the yellow balloon guy.
Well, so it's like a dead AT-AT. It's on the side of our country.
Oregon, you're a dead AT-AT.
Yeah. I guess this has like a flesh wound. So like, what are we drawing on this coast? I guess we should put Dave up here, right?
Yeah, Dave's up there. That's where Dave is.
Yeah. So Dave, tell us the come visit Seattle because it's great speech.
Yes, Seattle's absolutely
Seattle.
Totally be welcome to come to Seattle. Seattle's a beautiful place to live. If you enjoyed living in the Bay Area but didn't enjoy spending as much money, you can spend slightly less money in Seattle.
Yeah, slightly less money.
Yeah, but
actually, I love the amount of rain, and we don't get as much rain as people talk about. We get less rain than New York City does, but there's a lot of gray, foggy weather in the winter. The sun usually comes out, but I appreciate the fact that we get all 4 seasons to a nice degree. Meaning, I grew up in Michigan, and I missed the snow. Here, we get snow maybe twice a year. It comes. It stays a day or two, and then it goes away on its own. I haven't had to shovel the snow ever living here, but it's enough to appreciate it. It's pretty. The fall is lovely. The spring is lovely. Oh,
so what?
Seattle in the springtime.
What about the people? I mean, are they over caffeinated, right? Or I mean,
people are generally really friendly. Yeah, I found very friendly people. It felt in many ways like it seemed to have everything that the San Francisco area offered, but without being so intimidatingly large and sprawly. I was struck the very first time I came to Seattle that you leave the airport and within 5 minutes, it feels like you're out in the middle of the countryside. You wouldn't know you were anywhere near a big city. And you're downtown Seattle, and because of the hills, you drive 5 minutes and you're in a neighborhood and you can't see a big city, and you would, again, never know you were in a giant city.
Right.
But yet it offers all the benefits that a big city would offer.
Right.
Especially if you're left-leaning.
Yeah. Are you still playing music, dude?
Just for fun. I have been a full-time dad since my son was born, so I've been playing music for them since the start.
So I got Griffin. I'm doing flesh wounds, by the way, guys. Unless you direct me
that
otherwise.
looks great.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just.
That's the boot, right?
Is that coming down from Canada? Because it's a boot.
Yeah, or maybe it's just in the middle of the Pacific, right? It's a boot.
Pacific boot.
It's a nor'easter.
That
boot.
took me a while.
Nor'wester boot.
Took me a while to get that.
When I taught music and I'd have students try to guess the note, like what note was this? If it was A and they couldn't figure it out, I'd say, "Come on, it's the Canadian national note. What is it?" That was my clue for A. And thus end my 2 Canadian jokes that I know.
Dave,
That's pretty good.
Dave,
do you get a lot of Canadians over there because you guys are so far north? Is there just sort of more of a blurred line?
like, just get the hell out of here, right?
Canucks over in Seattle. You guys in Vancouver.
If they do, they keep a very low profile.
Right.
And they do big Texan accents, I think, to throw us off the track.
They're faking it.
Howdy there.
Any place around here to get some Tex-Mex? Sure would appreciate a Corona in a tequila.
And when I hear that, I know it. Canadian, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Every time.
When I was when I went backpacking in Europe, I would, like, and something embarrassing would happen, which was, most of the time, I would sing, "Oh, Canada." People are like, "Wow, I thought you had an American accent." And I was like, "No, eh?"
Yeah, I had a bike accident when I was living in Korea right when I got up, I was just like, "Oh, that was a bad thing to happen about right around here." And, I sure could use some socialized medicine to repair my face. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna put.
This is looking dynamite.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I like it.
so we're not really. I'm kind of like just tracing over crap.
Right
Let's,
on. Now, do you want to do a SoCal pitch, or shall I do the pitch?
Say that.
At least first try to work some Canadian Tex-Mex in up there.
Canadian Tex-Mex. There we go.
Can you?
Finally. Thank you
Can you
for
do,
a
like,
suggestion.
It's like Tex-Mex poutine. Can you pop some of that in there?
Yes.
That's a great reference right there.
Tex-Mex poutine.
Poutine.
Another band that opens for Primus. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, in theory, it would be
Is
great.
that Vegas? You draw in Vegas?
No, I'm drawing like a dish of poutine.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't. What does poutine look like? It's like
It's
potato.
like fries with like
and
cheese
gravy?
curd and gravy. And it's it's pure hangover medicine, right?
Speaking of which, there's a restaurant nearby that it's known for being hangover medicine, and they advertise their 12-egg omelets.
Oh, god damn!
I have never partaken in one myself.
What's
but
that look like? What's that? What is that? Does that feel like like one of those 14-inch pizza pie thing? I mean, like, wow.
I've got to imagine it does.
Yeah.
But if you're the ultimate warrior, I think you would need like 14 eggs a day, right? I mean, those muscles just don't come for free, dude.
14 eggs a minute.
Dave, can you give us the tassels? Can we have a little, just a quick?
Can you see these?
They're still on. They're still on, people. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I forgot to take them off. Honestly, this was my Halloween costume. I was the ultimate warrior.
I love that.
With a Scottish accent, or was it just?
I was doing the Scottish accent with the ultimate warrior voice.
The ultimate warrior was Scottish. Yeah, you did British Bulldogs in there too.
They were Canadian.
They were Canadian?
Didn't you tell from the Tex-Mex?
Yeah.
This was my attempt at
That's
Tex-Mex
great.
Canadian. So I don't know. I mean, what do I need to do? Put like a cactus in it or something? Or
Well, you got a sombrero behind it.
it's actually a cowboy hat, Darren. Thank you very much.
That's yeah.
Or like
that's
a
one of those.
maple
You flipping
syrup.
me off?
margarita.
You're flipping me off with your fuck you cactus? That's
Wow.
that is.
That's pretty.
It's a pretty good fuck you cactus, right?
Delightful.
Well, that's awesome, Dave. I mean, like, when you've been up there, how long now? You've been
7 years now.
7
years. Are you still? Because you were also doing like consciousness stuff. Are you still consciousness?
Yeah,
thing?
so I got, well, I mean, it's all basically just sort of at home and in my head at the moment, or coming
right.
out around the house. But, my wife works, she's a psychologist, and I'm a singer-songwriter. At least I was a singer-songwriter and music teacher. And it made sense to, instead of getting a job in order to pay for people to watch my children,
Yup.
I thought,
which is what I'm doing.
Yeah, man.
I thought, well, who better to teach them craziness from the get-go than me?
Yeah.
So when my little kids were sitting in the bumbo, I would, in the bumbo chairs where like
Yeah,
they
no.
just sort of like
What are
prop-
those?
there's
Yeah,
little
it's
foam
and you sort of
chairs they
wedge
can't
their-
move in.
Yeah, you wedge their little fat legs in.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
I'd sit them in front of the piano or guitar, and I'd just start playing and singing to them, and they heard Steely Dan and Genesis and all the stuff that I knew again and again.
awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
We got Griff a little guitar because he really enjoys it quite a bit. And actually, Darren, I don't know if you know this, but Dave taught me a little bit of guitar myself. So
Oh, yeah,
I
remember those
remember
were
when
fun.
you used to play. You used to tell me you would do it because
yeah, and it was interesting. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm putting a person in one of these bumbo chairs or something.
That's a good bumbo
you're
joke.
putting a fat eye in your.
Right.
in
So
your-
this is the thing is that like I can't concentrate on the conversation and draw at the same time. So you kind of get this like weird style. I don't know. I kind of like it.
That kid is looking a little entitled, Nye. I just gotta let you know.
Is
I
he?
think. Well, I mean, I think he's kind of looks like maybe he's dumping. Like there's a.
Yeah.
Moving.
Well, we are potty training in my household. I'm gonna
Are
put
you?
it.
How's that going?
How's
How's
good.
it going? Like honestly, how's it going? Like
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah?
He poops. Though we've gotten, I told you about the reward mechanism. It's usually like, something on, he wants to watch Mickey Mouse or some nursery rhymes on the phone or whatever. And like, I feel like I've gotten into this cycle where I'm rewarding him with digital media that I don't. So I don't know. This guy for some reason became Tex-Mex on the Bumble.
Wow, that's fantastic. So
oh my god, dude, that actually is
How old is your son? They're potty training.
Well, Griffey is 2.5, basically.
Good timing.
Yeah.
We lucked out with Luke. He was at that same-ish time. He was he had older kids at his preschool, and they had a no doors on the bathroom policy, which I actually thought like worked really well. So like, they would just go like in groups, like 3 boys, and Luke was just like, he had sort of like watched these older kids do it, and he was just like, I want to do that, and we were like, awesome. And
That's
just
great.
sort of- yeah, it was actually really great. We don't have that same situation up here with Sammy, so we'll see. But we're ways off.
So Dave, how old are your kids right now? They're-
How old are your kids? Dave?
So my son's Henry just turned 7. He's in
Wow.
4th grade, and his little sister Meadow is 5.5. So they're 18 months apart. He potty trained in a weekend, and it took her a year.
Really?
It was and I with my improv comedy background, I'm always quoting things. I quote things to people they don't even know, especially
Right.
like children. And so I remember she's great now. She's been great for a few years, but I remember she would save everything for the diaper. But then there was this moment where she's on the potty, and I keep thinking, I think it's gonna happen. I keep, are you gonna poop? Are you gonna go poop? Are you gonna poop? And did you ever see the 3rd Austin Powers movie?
The gold member?
Member?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I saw it.
Well, she had heard me quoted apparently, and so then I said, "You gonna poop?" And she starts moving toward me, going like this. How about no? She's 2 years. How about no? And it didn't happen for a while, but
that's funny.
but it happened eventually. That is one piece of actual advice that I got, is that anything that you're really upset about with early childhood, don't worry, it will pass. It'll go by.
Yeah.
But also things that you're really attached to, like it's so cute when he does the blah blah blah. Don't get too attached, because that's gonna go.
So
down.
that's gotta go away too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that little dude over there.
Yeah, I don't know where he came from. I felt like, I had to kind of, go with it. So let's
It's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it because I have to do a Star Wars thing, but that's Mexican Kylo, just sort of as a baby. Is that cool? I mean, I already did it. I said
it's like a Mexico Kylo Ren. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mexican Kylo Ren. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was our live draw where we went a little bit of left coast and did a little bit of poutine and Texan and stuff. So we're gonna take one more break. We're gonna do one more break, and then we're gonna be back in 2 minutes for our last segment where we're gonna talk about more Dave stuff. So
Is this a different Jen Remington song?
this is actually another Jen Remington song.
another reworked. This is awesome. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah. So you can visit Jen at heydog, HEYDOGG.com.
Double G.
Cool.
.com.
And we'll be right back.
Yep.
All right.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. And this is our final segment of Very Dad Ideas, where we talk about the show itself. And Dave is still
there they are. There they are.
still got the Ultimate Warrior ties on here. We were just talking about in the break how this
elbow right to your face, Dave. You see that? It's awful. It's awful. The damage. He needs the power of the mask, just like in Kiss Psycho Circus. They're
Psycho Circus.
sorry, I don't know why the fuck.
That's obscure.
I don't even know why I'm here. I don't even know why I'm here. Why am I here?
I'm just gonna go.
Yeah. So the original idea, like I was gonna say to you, Dave, that when I was doing something on Periscope a couple years ago, where I held the Periscope and I had a dry erase, and I had people come in, and so I had this idea of like, hey, you know what? If we made a show where people could come in and do this kind of thing, and keep it very, very loose. That was sort of the template for this, but we've been trying to figure this out for the last few months. We really haven't had a lot.
We started in September, and we were just we did maybe 8 or a dozen of shows.
We've been doing this every week since September, which I think is actually commendable that we've done.
Right.
So how have you only done 8 shows? Shouldn't you have done like?
No, we started going for real in January.
We started posting on Facebook, even though we don't push.
Yeah.
We're just
So everything before the official launch date was prototyping. We just sort of prototyped and kind of figured out and built the show.
It's all on the website.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, thank you for saying that, Darren.
No problem, Nye. I was.
So fellas, if I wanted to learn more about Very Dad Ideas, where might I go?
I'm glad you
Dave,
asked.
I'm glad you asked.
We're having some internet slowdowns. So our website, verydadideas.com. So our first 5 episodes are up. I do the mobile, the YouTube clip, our live draw. This is episode 5 where Darren and I did mobile phones, where we were live drawing in Mordor.
We figured out how to get to Mordor. Yeah.
Also, another bit of information: the show is now in podcast form. So if you are sick of our fucking faces, you can just listen to us.
Yes.
And I will be updating the last 2 episodes 6, 7, and 8, which in our most recent one was. We talked about school and guns. All of these will be on the website, but I'm hoping to get into the rhythm where every week I'm going to update, and you can just, see our live draw or see the. So.
The goal here is to make Nye work all the time.
Yeah, just
he has a 2-hour commute in the morning and a 2-hour. And he works all day, and then, dude, he works in the LBC.
Yeah.
Or he lives in the LBC and he works where you are.
I work in Santa Monica, and I live in Long Beach. So you're talking about an hour 15 each way, which is killing me. It's just killing me. But that being said, I still feel like the live streaming stuff, I'm really excited about it. I think this just first of all, I mean, look, I'm hanging out with 2 guys I used to collaborate with.
Yeah,
through the power of the internet, right? Yeah.
I have an empty beer. I'm just gonna toast you with my.
I have only a little bit left in the glass, anyway.
Cheers.
This is straight gin or soju. I don't know. It's just
Cheers.
some sort of barley.
So we didn't expect to have you in this week, Dave.
Yeah.
In fact,
we didn't think this was gonna go this easily. We thought we were gonna have to spend 30 minutes beforehand, and then this whole portion, the 15 minutes that we do here, was gonna be trying to
Right. But so now that we have it set up, why don't we do, if Dave is down, why don't we do a real episode with Dave next week? But let's choose a topic that we all want to get into. So we've kind of found that when we talk about advice and dads and things like that, it lends itself to the spirit of the show, but we also tend to go pretty nerd pretty quick. So
hard, with no segue, just right into Logan's Run, geek something.
Yeah. So I mean,
Not that that's a problem, I would assume.
No,
good. You're right there. You're the good man for the job. You're hired.
So
I got that bathtub full of brown M&Ms you sent. Thanks, by the way.
Oh, excellent.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Yeah,
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's good.
So
you were wearing the pink carnation at the train station, so it was fine.
No, Carnation Instant Breakfast.
I keep forgetting it's so high in protein.
Just order it up.
They're right there. They're right there. They're right there, right in your face. Oh shit. My screen just like went blank because it's on that thing where if you don't move the mouse for like 10 minutes, it goes into sleep mode.
Right, but we're still here. Don't worry.
I felt like I was having a stroke.
Yeah. So what does people feel like chatting about? What should we talk about?
Okay, yeah, we should figure out something. Let's just do it like here in the next like 10-20 seconds. 3 talk about next week.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
what sort of things do guys do for fun, or what do you guys do for fun?
So we try to go dad and like.
So one of the things we did, I actually listened to the podcasts, and I went through and listened to kind of stuff we did. I really thought that our Filmation episode was very successful. I thought our North Korea diplomat episode was very successful,
and the rest of them were just stinking turds.
No, the mobile phone was not bad either. And part of the reason why I felt that worked was that we had the structure where we went ping pong, ping pong. We brought things in. So we said, hey, we each have 3 things. So even if we go off the rail and we do bits or whatever, we still can kind of come back and say, hey, what's your next one? What's your next one?
Just stab Dave in the face with your hand like that. It's just dangerous. Yeah, right there, just throwing elbows.
Oh, all right. Yeah. It's a mirror.
Violence is crazy.
Here, try that again. Try that again.
Delay.
You just knocked him into the Purple Mountains. Oh, shit.
Where are you? Over here?
Psycho Circus is back. Yeah, I know. I'm always trying to fight Vader. And never quite.
Yeah, so maybe we talk about music, teaching kids music, because Dave is there. I think that that would be
that's good. Yeah.
And what age do we do in, and how do we start? And I can talk about how.
Can I make a request?
Sure.
Can you play, Dave? Can you play that the cat song?
Oh, the cat came back.
Yeah,
okay.
Play that next week.
That's actually on my second album.
I know it is. I think it's yeah.
Dave, why don't you plug away?
Every time I play my own song, I have to pay me royalties, and I can't afford it. No, I'll be happy to.
So, Dave, do you still have your stuff? Do you still have your stuff online? Is there stuff that people?
I do. My website, I haven't really done anything with since I became a father.
Right, of course.
So it's not the most up-to-date technical website you've ever seen, but everything you need is there. The information and the music and all of the fun stuff.
Do you still have
and
CDs?
Can you buy your albums like on iTunes?
iTunes, Amazon. I'm on Spotify. Yeah.
Well, why don't you like next week bring like your albums and just so you can just like physically hold them up or something?
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so next week
It's
we're gonna
funny,
do.
like I usually around the house, like I don't often play my own stuff. I usually play other cover tunes. It's so much so that the kids really like it, and my kids love it.
Feel free to play all the covers, because at Very Dad Ideas we have a budget. So anybody who wants to come at us for money, we've got.
Yeah, we licensed Starscream and Optimus Prime. All this is completely legal. It's completely through all the channels.
In
all right,
fact,
so great.
We were told to do this, so.
Well, my kids love it when I chase them around the house and I'm playing Stone Temple Pilots songs on my guitar, like screaming the songs. Like, they'll even start Cracker Man. They'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do that for you guys.
All right. We can get a little Cracker Man in here. Well, that sort of works.
That sounds great. So great. That sounds good for next week's show. This week's show. Thank you very much, Dave, for joining us. It's been very
Dave Serotkin, everybody.
Great to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, and let's see if we can knock out your screen so we can actually have true lasers.
I need bigger paper behind me. I thought it'd be huge. It's tiny.
You need better paper.
You need at least one more piece.
I do. I could have done it the opposite direction. I thought it would be fine.
That
like
would have
this.
been alright if you'd have done that.
Yeah.
I
We
don't know.
still need another piece of paper, though.
Okay, I can get another one if you needed to. Not a problem.
Or maybe we'll just do the Beatles all episode. We'll just do it. All right, join us next week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.